Hi everyone. So in today's video we will cover rolling file appender. So I have downloaded a dummy project from spring.io. You can do the same. Okay, so let's start. So this is the dummy project. Let's try to run it once. Okay. So logs are getting printed on console right now. Let's include the log4j dependency first. Okay, and then replace the default logging dependency of Spring Boot project. By default, Spring Boot uses use log back framework for logging, so we have replaced it by log4j. So in external library also you can see now we have log4j core as the implementation for logging framework, right? And this jar contains all the appenders like the console appender, then file appender, which we uh, covered already in the previous videos, right? So today we will cover rolling file appender. Okay, so let's go to the official documentation. So here let's open the rolling file appender. This is the rolling file appender configuration. Let's copy it once. Let's create a log4j XML file. Okay, so here you can see we have defined a rolling file appender with name rolling file. I am renaming it to my file appender, and we have defined a path which is folder log, and then file name will start with app, and we have also defined a file pattern here. Let's remove this gz extension. Okay, and we have defined a layout, the pattern, the logs layout, in which the log will be, we will print log in this pattern only. Okay, and then we have policies. So policy and and strategy works together, right? So by policy I mean uh, policy will define when a rollover will happen. Okay, so let's suppose your file have breached this limit, the size of 250 MB, then the rollover will happen. Okay, and with time we also have time based policy. Okay, so you can define time here. So after, like, you can define a time of 6 hour or 4 hour. So after 4 hour file or rollover will happen. Okay, so whichever policy, uh, like let's suppose before 4 hour your file size is 100 MB, right? Then it will take the priority, then the file over will happen based on the time only. And let's suppose your file size is 50 MB, but the time passes the 4 hour limit which you have set in uh, has configured for the time based triggering policy. So in that case rollover will happen on the basis of time. Then we have default strategy, rolling strategy. So policy will define when a rollover will happen, and strategy will define how a rollover will happen. Okay, So strategy considered this file pattern, and the basis of this it will create a rollover file in the provided pattern or a location, right? So we have defined a location or a folder logs. Here it will create folder. Inside this log folder it will create folders on the basis of date. So for each date it will configure it will create our new folder, and then it will create the rollover file with this format. Here the file will start with the prefix app, then it will have the date, okay, and then it will have the integer. So this I basically mean, so after the first rollover your file name will be app, okay, then the date, then the integer I. So this is the increment actually. So for every rollover your file name will increment with this I, which is 1 2 3. Your file will have app1 app2 app3.log, this kind of name. So just let's start then now. So by default the rolling strategy, the max limit, you can see the max limit of default rolling strategy. Let's check. By default it is 7. So if the for a particular day, if already we have 7 rollover already happened for a day, then it will remove the older files, okay. So this limit signifies that only. Let's try, let's make it 3 first, and let's make the size as KB, okay. Let's use our appender only. Let's make it debug. So I have, okay, let's define a test controller. Let's define 2 APIs. First, in first API we will print debug or trace logs. Let's import a logger instance from logger manager. Let's print some statement here. Okay, and return success. This is test 1. Let's create another REST endpoint, test 2. Here we will throw exception and print a error log. Okay, let's just throw exception and print error log here. This is custom exception. Right, so we have created 2 endpoints. Here in the first endpoint we are printing info and debug logs, and in the second endpoint we are printing a error log. So let's start our application and check. Let's check the folder and log. Let's check the rolling appender, how it is working. So let's try to hit our API once. This is test one, success. Here you can see this is the default file, this is the current file, and inside this file it already created a file with the provided pattern, right? This is the pattern which we have provided, and it has added one with added, this is the first file, this is the first rollover, right? So that's why it added a suffix of 1, which is incremental suffix, right? Let's check second endpoint. Let's try to run it multiple times. Okay, so logs are here only. Let's try again. Let's check when new rollover will happen. Okay, now the second rollover already happened, right? So you can see this file, this is the current file. It has the latest log, right? 4118. The timing is 4118. And this file, this is the second rollover, right? This contain the previous log, right? 4117. And this file with suffix 1, it contain the older log. Let's try to do one more time. Let's try to hit this API multiple times. Okay, now the third rollover happens, right? So that's how rolling appender works actually.